Okay, so today is October 21st, and we're going to do 3 problems today. And the first problem is going to be, William has 15 video games. 1/3 of his video games are racing games. How many racing games does William have? And then how many video games are not racing games? All right, so we're going to start out with the fact that he has 15 video games. And we're going to multiply that by the 1/3 that we know are racing. And we're going to try to find an answer. So we have this whole number of 15. So we're going to write 15 over 1 because that does not change the whole number at all. So 15 times 1 is 15. And 1 times 3 is 3. So what you end up with is 15 divided by 3. So we're going to write that. 15 divided by 3 is, and when we count by threes, we go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And we know that we have to count 5 threes. So our multiple is going to be a 5. And so 5 are racing. But that only answers half of our question. The other half of the question is how many are not racing? So we have 15 total, and we're going to minus the 5 racing so that we end up with 15 minus 5 being 10 that are not race games. And that'll answer that question, that our 10 are not, but 5 are. All right? The second problem we're going to do is very, very similar. It is about running. And it says, Josie entered a 12-mile marathon. She ran 1/3 of the way and jogged the rest. How many miles did Josie run? And how many did she jog? So again, we're going to start out with the 12 miles. And we're going to multiply it by 1/3 that she ran. And we're going to try to figure out what that is. So again, we have that 12 as a whole number. So we're going to do 12 over 1. So 12 times 1 is 12. And 1 times 3 is 3. So again, you end up with a division equation that is 12 divided by 3. And again, we're going to count by 3s. So we're going to try to figure out which multiple number or how many 3s we need. So we're going to say 3, 6, 9, 12. And when we do that, we end up with 4. We need 4 groups of 3. So 4 miles that she ran. But this time, it also wants to know how many she jogged. So we're going to take the 12 total minus the 4 she ran to find out how many she jogged. Well, this time it's a little bit harder because we have to borrow. So you cannot do 12 minus 4, so we're going to borrow from the 1 and bring that whole group of 1s over, so this becomes a 12. 12 minus 4 is 8, so it's 8 miles that she jogged. All right, the last question is a little bit harder and it's a little bit different. And that problem simply says, Laura and Jill baked a cake, sliced it into 8 equal slices. After dinner, there was 1/3 of the whole cake left. How many slices did they eat? So I would say that we have this whole pie, and there are 8 slices out of 8 because none of it has been eaten. So this 8 over 8 is equal to 1 whole pie. All right? And we're going to subtract because they're going to 1/4. Well, we can't do that. So we're going to have to come up here and we're going to have to say 1/4 equals what over 8 because it has to be the same denominator. So we say 4 times what is 8? So times 2. And then 1 times 2 is 2. So we're actually going to change this to being 2/8, and we're going to put this in parentheses. So we know we used our 1/4, but our equivalent fraction is 2/8. And then we're just going to subtract. So 8 minus 2 is 6. And our denominator stays the same. So 8. So 6/8 is what has been eaten. And we can reduce this back to 4. Since we multiplied by 2, we can divide by 2. So if we take 6/8 and we divide the numerator by 2, we're going to get 3. And if we divide the denominator by 2, we get 4. And that makes sense because 3/4 plus 1/4 equals a whole pie of 4/4.